Shalom and greetings from Jerusalem, Jane. I want to give you a current news update as we are about to enter a Jewish New Year. The last 24 hours has been very, very difficult and painful here in Israel, and today is actually a very painful and dark day. I moved into a new place. I finally closed the door to a bad rental for 2 years and a lot of hard work, and I had just climbed the stairs, staying now for 3 weeks on a third floor walk-up apartments in a Jewish community outside Jerusalem. We did the last bit of shopping yesterday, and then it was just going to be relaxed, and all of a sudden we get the notification on our phone that the Israeli military spokesperson said that they had intelligence that Israel would be attacked by Iran in a missile attack, an imminent attack. An imminent attack, we don't know what that is, but then it was said, okay, it's going to be within the next 12 hours. While we are kind of preparing for this, and the internet went down in my house, so I'm only using the packets that I have on my phone, there are breaking news that there has been one of the worst massacres, one of the worst terror attacks in many years here in Israel. 2 Arab terrorists coming in from Hebron took the train around Jaffa, and they started shooting people, including a 29-year-old young mother who was having her baby in the stroller. She was plainly executed on the spot. There were dead people and blood all over the train. When the train pulled into Jaffa, they got out and they just started executing, shooting people waiting at the train stop. 7 innocent civilians were brutally murdered yesterday in one of the worst casualties in a terror attack in Israel for many, many years. It is absolutely horrendous. The photos coming out from that was horrific. I wanted to share about it, but my phone was simply not working without the internet yesterday. While I'm trying to grasp the horrific photos and videos coming out from that terror attack, knowing that 7 families are now going to be notified your loved one was just brutally murdered, we start getting on our phone from the home from commands that the missile attack on Israel has now begun and everybody needs to go to their bomb shelters. I'm on the 3rd floor. There's no bomb shelter here. I have to hike down to the basement, and I said that's not going to happen. And then we start having the red alerts here in my community. So I go to my balcony and I start just turning on my phone, again, just with a limited access without the internet. And then I literally start watching all of these missiles are raining down on Israel. And you can see they are being shot down by the Israeli military and the Iron Dome. And we have the very loud booms, explosions. If you didn't know better, you would think it would be a beautiful firework, but this was very, very serious. And I'm not just standing there looking, and then it got so bad I ran into the hallway, just 1 floor down. I made a video, but then I was curious. I was like, no, I gotta go up. So I ran back up out to the balcony looking at all of this. So that's what happened yesterday. A sovereign state, the state of Israel, the Jewish homeland, was attacked with 190 ballistic missiles from Iran. We are not talking drones, we are talking missiles. They are massive, they are huge. Guess what happened? The God of Israel, who neither slumber nor sleeps, once again, he protected his people. How could he do that? Because of your press. There was not one Israeli casualties yesterday. God protected his people together with the amazing military here in Israel. So it was very surreal. I was back and forth from my balcony watching it into the stairways, not in a bomb shelter, but just like, wow, this is really surreal. And they were shooting them down so close, and it was so loud at my house. I was standing up against the wall and it was literally shaking. So within 24 hours, seven precious people were brutally murdered in a horrific massacre in Jaffa. And then we had 119 missiles flying in from Iran. Before that, of course, Hezbollah is still firing into Israel. And there were actually red alerts even in Tel Aviv and the center of Israel yesterday. And then came all of this from Iran. So I am sending my heartfelt and deepest condolences to the families who have to bury a beloved just before we enter the Jewish New Year tonight. May their memories forever be a blessing. May they rest in peace. 7 people murdered, and it barely made any news because of all the missiles that start flying into Israel. If you don't live here, you have no idea what it's like. You have no idea how traumatized this nation is after everything that happened after October 7. And on a daily basis, the people in the north and then also further down in the country are being attacked, having to run for their lives to bomb shelters because Hezbollah continue to fire rockets at Israel. The Israeli military released information that they had been doing raids into Lebanon against Hezbollah targets. Hezbollah had plans after October 7 to commit the same massacre, the same invasion into Israel that Hamas, ISIS did on October 7. Thousands of Hezbollah terrorists was waiting on the northern border of Israel, ready to breach into Israel and to massacre, mutilate, gang rape, just like we saw on October 7. They have 150,000 rocket and missiles, drones aimed at Israel. But Israel struck preemptively. They took them out. Reports are saying Israel took out half of the weapons that they have. That means they still have a lot. More than 100 rockets have been fired into the north of Israel today alone, and it's only noon. So for such a time as this, God is saying, comfort, comfort my people, because this nation is traumatized. There's not one family that's not affected by all of this. I can tell you honestly that when the red alerts went off and the booms, and I was standing there, and also when I ran to my out to the stairway or the hallway, I was actually not afraid, but I was aching and traumatized and hurting, because I had just watched the horrific videos of dead people lying on the train, lying at the train stop, executed with blood everywhere. My heart was aching for the Jewish people who continues to be murdered for no other reason than them just being Jewish. And in the midst of that horrendous scene with paramedics, police, all of these people are coming in to work at that scene. They have to run for cover because Iran is firing missiles at Israel. Israel is going to retaliate. The Israeli military is going to retaliate the minute they get the green light from the government here. And you better believe they're going to pay the price. These evil monsters in Iran who thinks they can attack Israel with 190 ballistic missiles, they are going to be sorry. They are going to be very, very sorry. So normally, Shana Tova, it's a joyful occasion. You would wish the Jewish people Shana Tova, Happy New Year. But with all of this we are facing, and with funerals taking place now, and all of those families in Israel who's going to enter the new year, sit down at this holiday table, and they are missing their beloved because they have been murdered in a terror attack, or they were murdered on October 7, or they were murdered, soldiers fighting in Gaza, soldiers fighting in the north, or soldiers out in Judea and Samaria against all of the evil terrorists who was roaming free in Judea and Samaria. So many broken hearts, so many broken families. Think about for a second all the women who is now home alone with their children because daddy was called up and the military just called up thousands more reservists. Reservists are people in the civilian life, doctors, bakers, physiotherapists, dentists, whatever, you name it. They are now being drafted into the army, and mom is home alone with the kids, and they don't know, is dad going to come home? So there's not one family that are affected. So it's complete surreal to be here in Israel, especially since October 7. Everything is like a world of its own. Something you cannot understand when you are just doing your normal chores and going to the movies and going and watch the sunset or the beach, whatever you're doing around the world. It's just not that kind of normal life down here because there's too much trauma. I still want to take the opportunity to all my Jewish friends and followers and say Shana Tova, Happy New Year. I really wish the best for you. You can count on my support, my prayers, my blessing, my love. I hope in the new year that I will be able to stay here in Israel and continue to speak up for you. The voice that many people are contacting me and saying, we are looking for you and your voice, Jane. And if there's a couple of days, for instance, I've been so busy, pack up and move, I was simply too exhausted and tired and busy to work. People was like, where are you? Are you okay? We missed your post. So in 3 weeks, I have to find my own place. So please continue to pray because I have to pack up and move again. And it actually is exhausting. And it could be. And now we have red alert in the north again. Shana Tova to the Jewish people. Me and my house will always serve the Lord. And we will always stand with you as long as I'm being allowed to be here in Israel. For all of you around the world, thank you for being strong supporters of Israel for such a time as this. Speak up for Israel. Be an advocate for Israel. Don't just sit home and not do anything. I believe God is watching each and every one of us. He's watching you. What are you doing? What are you saying? If you as a Christian think what's happened here has nothing to do with you, you are sadly mistaken. It's your responsibility to speak up for the land that you are reading about every time you are opening your Bible. So yeah, we have red alert again now in the north. So that was just the latest update, and also update from me as I'm sitting here looking tired. A lot of hard work, and just, I'm crying in here from all the families who lost a beloved. 7 people were murdered yesterday. It's really hard to comprehend. So united we stand with Israel. Shana Tova. Bye.